Hey guys, welcome to MNMM PTE NAATI. This is Mohit. Today's video is about Describe Image, and this video is for both PTE core students and PTE academic student. So it doesn't matter which exam you're giving, this video is for you. Now, today I will actually do a Describe Image, a graph question for you and show you that when you have a graph, what to do, especially after the changes in November 2024. We have to be careful that we speak genuine content in Describe Image and we just don't go there and speak template. Otherwise, we will not get our desired score. So we have to be careful of what we do with Describe Images. So this video will help you to understand how you can tackle your graph images. But before that, if you're looking for PTE academic coaching or PTE core coaching, or if you're after NAATI coaching for Hindi, Punjabi or Gujarati, you can always contact us using Facebook or Instagram. Simply search MNMM NAATI, or you can go to the description below. There are links for Facebook and Instagram. You can click on them. You can contact us. You can talk to us, and we are more than happy to discuss about your situation and happy to help you to get your desired score in your first attempt. Now let's start with Describe Image. So first things first, this is the template that we will be using for a graph, a pie chart, a line graph, bar graph, flow chart. Okay, those sort of scenarios, you should be using this template. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind, template, we are not supposed to use template. Look at the template. It's actually not even a template. It's just something that is going to support you to move from one sentence to the other. There are not a lot of words, right? Like look at the first one, the image describes. That's it. Second, it is clear that. That's it. Third, it is evident that. That's it. So basically, if you have a look, 95% is still your content, because you have to make sure that you speak for more than 30 seconds. You have to speak between 30 to 40 seconds. Only then you will get your desired score. Okay. Now, out of, let's say, for example, you spoke for 33 seconds. Out of 33 seconds, the template is barely 3 seconds. So 30 seconds would still be your content. That is okay. But if you just go there and speak template, and you're not explaining the content, then you'll be in trouble. So you have to make sure that you follow this template for graphs and you describe your images properly. Don't worry about grammar, because it is not getting checked. Even if it is getting checked by a human being, the grammar doesn't get checked for Describe Image. So what happens is your fluency and pronunciation will be checked by the computer. But if the computer feels that whatever you have spoken is actually a template and you haven't described the image actually, then the computer will flag your response to a human being. Your response is then assigned to a human being, and the human being will only assess your content. The human being will not assess your fluency or pronunciation. So either case, the fluency and pronunciation part is always assessed by computer software only. Content can be assessed by a human being provided you have used template and you're not actually describing your image. Now, another tip that I want to share over here is that every image you do, especially in exam, let's say you get 3 images, you have to make sure that every image sounds different to each other. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you actually describe the content, because obviously the content for every image would be different. So if you are actually describing the content, your image will sound different to each other and your responses won't be flagged and you won't lose your marks in speaking sections. You'll have to be careful of that. Okay. Now, we've gone through the template. We know that we have to speak for more than 30 seconds, definitely less than 40 seconds, and our responses should be different. Now, this template is already there in the description below. The PDF is there in the description below, so you can just download it from there and you can use it. You can also take a screenshot of this page, whatever is easy for you. And this template has been used personally by me, and it is used for both PTE core and PTE academic exam, and I've got my 90 each already. And ever since we have used it with so many students and they've got their 90 each, they've got their 8 each, 7 each, all the desired scores people have got. So the template has been tested, has been used multiple times. So you need not worry about that part. Okay. Now, let's say this is the image I have. Now, this is a pie chart. As I said, this sort of template you can use for a line graph, bar graph, pie chart, flow chart, these sort of scenarios. Okay. So the first thing, look at the template, the first line, the image describes, then you have to speak the title of the image. So if the title is given, just read it, simple as that. The image describes global language distribution by number of speakers. Job done. Let's assume the title was not given. I would just say the image describes a pie chart. Keep it straightforward and simple because the image is actually a pie chart. So you're not bluffing. So if you actually speak whatever is visible in the image, you will not end up in trouble. Okay. So because the title is given, I would say the image describes global language distribution by number of speakers. Easy. Now, what was the second line? It is clear that. Now, when I say it is clear that, I have to talk about what is highest, lowest, or I can use words like maximum, minimum. So let's say I want to use words like maximum, minimum. The maximum over here, it is clear that the maximum over here is other, which is 30%, and the minimum over here is Arabic, which is 6%. Talking about numbers is extremely important in graphs. That is what Pearson has said. Numbers have to be your priority. So in this graph, there are numbers. So I have to make sure that I prioritize numbers and I describe the numbers. That will give me a good score. That will give me my desired score. So I've already told them what is the maximum and minimum. Now I can say it is evident that, look at the last line, it is evident that. Now what you can do is you can describe the values of the remaining categories, whatever the remaining categories are. For example, French, Spanish, Hindi, English, and Mandarin. These are the remaining categories. So you can say it is evident that French is 7%, Spanish is 8%, Hindi is 13%, English is 17%, and Mandarin is 19%. Now what you have done, you have first told them the title, then you told them the maximum, minimum, then you told them the values of the other categories. This was mostly content. How much was template? Like not even 2%. 98% was content, and that's why you will get your desired score. You need to tell them the values of the other categories. Okay. Now, we know that we have to speak for more than 30 seconds. So far we haven't crossed 30 seconds. So what you can do is first speak the title, then speak the maximum, minimum, then speak the values of the other categories, and still if you have time left, start comparing them. Okay, like you can say Arabic is 1% less than French and French is 1% less than Spanish. Like that, easy comparison where the difference is not much, because otherwise you can't sit there and do maths. Then you can say English is 2% higher than Mandarin, or you can say Mandarin is 2% less than English, whatever. But all these things that you're saying is actually the truth, because you are looking at the image and this is what the image says. And that's why you will not be in a problem, because you are actually describing the image. Now we know that we have to speak for more than 30 seconds, and the response should be more than 30 seconds, less than 40 seconds. Anything between 30 to 40 seconds is perfectly fine. Okay. So whenever you practice, sit with a stopwatch and see if you're able to do that. Now let's try to speak the answer. The image describes global language distribution by number of speakers. It is clear that other is maximum, which is 30%, and Arabic is minimum, which is 6%. It is also evident that French is 7%, Spanish is 8%, Hindi is 13%, English is 17%, and Mandarin is 19%. It is clear that Arabic is 1% less than French, because Arabic is 6% and French is 7%. French is 1% less than Spanish, because French is 7% and Spanish is 8%, and English is 2% less than Mandarin, because English is 17% and Mandarin is 19%. Now what did I do? I first spoke my title, then I told them the maximum, minimum, which is obviously from the image. Then I described the other categories, the value of other categories. But still, even after describing the value of all the categories, I did not cover enough content, because you know that we have to speak for more than 30 seconds. In this case, start comparing the categories. Sometimes you will have a lot of categories and you don't even need to compare them, because only if you describe the numbers or the values of those categories, you will easily cross 30%. But in this case, in spite of the fact that I described the value for every category, the number of categories were not enough that I could cover more than 30 seconds content. And I can't stop talking because I know that I have to talk for more than 30 seconds. So this is the presence of mind that you need to use, that yes, let's start comparing the categories. Let's say what is more, what is less, how much more, how much less. And obviously you have to target the easy ones. Now, if you sit there and be like, other is 13% more than English, that maths, you don't have time to do it. If you have already done it in the 25 seconds of preparation time, that's a different story. But otherwise, target easy ones like Arabic and French. It's very easy. The difference is only 1%. Same French and Spanish, very easy. The difference is only 1%. English, Mandarin, the difference is only 2%. So go for the easy ones, right? So this is how I would do a describe image for any graph. This is how I would use my template and actually describe the image so that my response is not getting flagged and it's not assigned to a human being and I'm not losing my marks. But the flow, the fluency is important. You have to speak without hesitating. The pronunciation is important. You have to be clear. Every word you speak, you have to make sure you open your mouth properly and deliver it clearly with your natural accent. And content is also important. You have to make sure that you are actually describing the image. And if it is a graph like a bar graph, line graph, a pie chart, or a flow chart, you prioritize numbers. Numbers are your priority, highest priority. Talk about numbers, describe the numbers because they will give you your scores. And do not worry about grammar because grammar is not getting checked in describe image. I hope you understood what is describe image with this video. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us using Facebook or Instagram, and we are more than happy to help you clear your PTE and NAATI exams in your first attempt. God bless all of you and see you next time. Bye-bye.